hedgehog. Nah. Alright. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Da, locked room, that is point. That room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. Boosh, are you letting light into my room? Alright. Ah, why, it gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man. Oh. The ventilator? Gah, ha 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 ha. You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening. It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m., I could hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. What? Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Yeah! Ah! What the? Oh my god! Aww! I know this is very frightening, but that snake's kind of cute. Look at that snake, everybody. That's adorable. I know. It's like, oh my god, what's wrong with you? Nah, it's kind of cute. I wonder if this is the little friend that maybe... No way. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The Speckled Band. Oh. Right. A snake? Indubitably. 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 Oh my god. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Say, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Hang on, everybody. I'm gonna check something real quick. I noticed my VOD, my uptime got split. No, never mind. Disregard. I'm fine. I thought it did. No, no. It's okay. I'm really losing it today, everybody. Oh man. Let me double check something. I didn't drop any frames, did I? Hang on, everybody. I'm just gonna check one little ding. Are you serious? Hang on. Before I check, everybody. Oh my god, it did. It really did. Great. I have more split VODs. Hang on, everybody. Little stowaway. Hang on. My apologies, everybody. I can't. No. Let me just restart my... Hang on. I'm gonna restart my previous save. Yeah. I think half my stuff didn't record. We'll just start from here again. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Is Streamlabs that really awful now? Or no? And my connection is fine. My connection is very much fine, by the way. I'm not like witnessing any like drop frames or anything. Hang on. My apologies, everybody. This is gonna be an awful VOD to look back on. Hang on. Let me double check real quick. Alright. Alright. I'll just restart it from here. My apologies, everyone. I just wanted things to go fine, but nah. Alright, let me just start this all over. Miss Pavlova, can I get out? Listen, I'm sorry that we stuck in here without your permission, but get out, now. We just need to investigate in here to help understand what happened to... Ugh, it's no use. She's not going to listen. I need to find someone who will. Please, just give me a little more time. I do nothing for you, except show you way to ship's prison cell. Ugh, thanks, but no thanks. But I'm innocent. I didn't kill anyone. And trespassing? And stowing away? Well, you know, sometimes life can lead you down some unusual avenues. And well... Enough! You are guilty. Ship's cell is only place fit for you. Come on, there has to be someone. Some savior to rescue me from this crisis. You've got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened. I'll have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue me from this crisis. Alright. So upset. Right. I just need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating. Don't touch my things! You want me to show you where crawfish hibernates? Hiya! Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think you're doing? Wow, even everyone's attacking me. And I was just starting to think she was my friend. Isn't there anyone who can help me out of this mess? Alright. Alright, we'll just do this whole part again. It's fine. What the? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? It's obvious to properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited look. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. Ah, I never knew whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak. An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship, the steamship Murdia, has been solved by me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Ha! You have solved it. Even Hedgehog understands this case. Hedgehog? Alright. We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. If it is this stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Da, locked room, that is point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolts could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man. The ventilator. Gahahaha. You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening. It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m., I could hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Kia! What the? That's too funny. That's adorable too. I know this snakes can be frightening, but I find this snake kind of cute. Allow me to introduce you all to the band, the speckled band. A snake, indubitably. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Hmm. Yes, you're right. I think in this case you'd have to call it a striped band, wouldn't you? Ha ha ha. You both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that it's precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. Ah, and number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. Oh no. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi. Oh no. Oh my god. The snake hissed. Oh no. What if that snake was used to coil around his neck? Because that snake can most likely do that. And now I don't think that snake is cute anymore. Bad snake. I hope you're not the murderer. But we'll see. It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh, the great deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Intruder's identity. Miss Pavlova, moments ago, you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidence your inextricable link. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected. Another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent. Your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, the fact that leaves us is in i- the fact, and yet that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band. Ah, the bad snake. Stop. Ah, so bad. Whereas, regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary, even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin. No? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman, who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it slows its skin. Slew. Oh, slew. Yeah, it slews its skin. Okay. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Conclusion: a beloved speckled snake. Topic 2: how Mr. Asogi died. Oh no. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. Ah, in fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as a fact, we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. No, the almost but not quite imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This this makes no sense. There is no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't. It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Indeed, you'd put the serpent through this ventilator, and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You wouldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny this snake has undergone such training? It's not true! Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once, and its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. Oh no. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Man. Conclusion, death by a venomous snake's bite. No, that's like the worst way. So many terrible ways to die. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. No. Oh my god. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You've solved the mystery. Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Herlock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Um, could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah, it's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah, yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal to a snake by whistling. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performance plays their I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah. Um, there is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. Oh, I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean? Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Alright, we shall give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? Oh, you've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. It's time. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Intruder's identity, a beloved speckled. Alright. Miss Pavlova, moments ago, you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is it? Is that it? Could this be some other way to interpret her expression then? Interpret. Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Oh boy, aching heart. What else is causing her pain? Left ear? Hang on. We're going to look at everything. Oh, claw scratch. All right, first let's look at, her aching heart. She really does look troubled. Yes, it's hard to believe she's putting that expression on to fool us. But if you look closely, it's almost like she's actually staring at something. That's what do you think? Perhaps something's physically causing her pain. We should have a closer look. She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear. Ah, I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry. An earring, is it? It really is tiny. Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off. So now all that's left is the clasp part that attaches to the ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. Alright. She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to have adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it seems. Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san. Yeah, it sure is. However, we need to... I think we're gonna have to... We're gonna check out that claw scratch in a moment. Oh, Naruhodo-san, look. That looks like a very painful wound. It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here. Alright. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. This might be what's causing her pain, this claw scratch.
Yes!
And now I know how to present. Because, man, that was silly yesterday. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, a simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch? Sometime last night. Ah. When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. Oh no. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's pain on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the living serpent we see before us. It seems likely that the scratch marks on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? That's what's the true identity of this friend of hers. We should follow her gaze. Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Uh-oh. Writhing serpent. Oh no. Okay, hang on. Seaman Stroganov. There's no doubt, is there? She looked in this direction. Straight at Seaman Stroganov. Well, they do seem to be friends of sorts, but I can't imagine how he could possibly fit through that ventilator. Don't forget that I managed to fit inside Kazuma's trunk when we first boarded the ship. I would ask what that proves, but I think an equivocal little smile will be more effective. The more I look at this creature, the more its stripes stand out. It's a very impressive snake, isn't it? Oh yes, it really is. And it seems to be doing its best to squeeze this poor sailor's head until it bursts. Yes, it's a terrifying sight, and slightly heartwarming at the same time. It really is. Like, but, you know, that's silly. Anyway, it would probably be a good idea not to get too close. I agree. Alright. Let's look at the teapot. I have a feeling that it was this teapot that Miss Pavlova's eyes flickered over to before. You think this is the friend she's been talking about? Well, we're all different, aren't we? No. Whatever you might say about it, if that's the way she feels. I don't think I'll say anything about it then. You and the teapot can discuss it instead. Wait, that's not what I meant. That was silly. I think it's somebody in the picture here. Photograph frame. Oh, look at the kitty. Look at the cat. That might be the little cat, the little friend. Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true, but personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we better take a closer look at this. I mean, yeah. We shall. Miss Pavlova. That must be a stage costume she's wearing. It's quite stunning. I should like to have something like I should like to have something like that. And she's wearing the 20,000 rubles on her head as well. Look. It's called a tiara, Naruhodo-san, and you shouldn't think of it purely in terms of its value. She must be a strong-willed woman. To turn her back on the world stage and run away all on her own. Alright. Little kitten. It's the little kitten. Aww. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling here. Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Naruhodo-san, for the blackest outfit? A black kitten. And from the look of that picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems really attached to it. Aww, and I noticed it's wearing a bell, too. Alright, we're going to present Little Kitten, is the correction.
Yes!
Little Kitten! Boom. Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. Oh no. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! Yeah. Darka is my best friend. Oh, the name is Darka. I couldn't leave her behind. Oh, the girl cat. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. Hang on. Oh. A state of uncertainty or perplexity, especially when you are stuck trying to decide between two difficult, unfavorable, or equally compelling options. Alright, so that's what quandary means. Alright. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band. Ah! That snake wants to eat the Sherlock Holmes. Nah. That's so funny. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known. Oh yes, ploys like that are Mr. Sholm's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was his specialty. Or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? So, what is she actually trying to hide? Oh, I saw it. But first, do I get extra dialogue here? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's the same thing. I see what she's hiding. I totally saw what she's hiding. It's what she's hiding with the skin. But can I, like... Okay, I guess we can just, you know... Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but... What is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth of some sort. And that looks like a handle at one end. I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. How is that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it. Haha, that sounds positively adorable. Cat's toy. Yep. Oh, that was clever. So I had to examine, and then it's cat's toy. Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy as long as let's handle on one end. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So when we examined that, it became the cat's toy. So that's good that I was examining, you know? All right. So we shall present the cat's toy.
Yes!
Cat's toy. Yes. The thing you're trying, but failing to conceal, is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. Ah! And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there could be only one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Oh. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Yeah. Oh. A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. Oh no. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. Oh. Pavlova and Darka photograph. The photograph of Miss Pavlova and Darka has been entered into the court record. A photograph of Miss Pavlova and her friend, a kitten named Darka. The tiara she would wear on stage can also be seen. Hang on. I'm going to investigate the. I'm going to examine. Okay. Ah, what a cute cat. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Oh no. Darka, she is so naughty. Conclusion. A beloved kitten. Solved. However, moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. Ah! In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Oh no. What Mr. Shums says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right. But Mr. Shums seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. Let's see. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Hold on. Hold it. Let's see. But Mr. Sholmes, hold up. No signs of no visible signs of injury. The circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. What Mr. Sholmes says is true. No signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. But Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Let's give him the information he's missing now? Okay, hold on. Can only be explained by a terrible venom. Was it the mark on the floor? A piece of a small glass object, and that looks like a scruff mark made by Kazuma's shoes. Hold on, what about the post-mortem report? There was no obvious external injuries or traces of poison. Okay. Nah, right here. The mortem report. There were no traces of injury or poison. This might be it.
Yes!
Okay, I was right. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Yeah, that's right. The report explained. Ah, yes. I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganov isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out, anyway. We have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes. An examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Oh no. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found though. Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. No. I suppose it's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? Okay. One moment. Anything from the scene? Whoa. Hmm. I want to say it might be the mark on the floor. It's gotta be. Or wait a minute. An examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Hmm. Okay. It's probably the mark on the floor.
Yes!
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. Yeah. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. Oh, beeswax, tallow, and dye, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather boot shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please no. And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No! Oh no. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? Huh? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. Hang on, everybody. Checking. Okay, my signal's fine. But now, your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what's happened. But... And if this part of Mr. Sholm's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Oh no. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. Traveling case? Tiara? Hang on. Let's look at the tiara. Ah, somebody appears to have dropped 20,000 rubles here. It hasn't been dropped, Naruhodo-san. It's been placed. I'm starting to sound like Mr. Sholmes. Stop trying to sound like the great detective. Hmm. This is where Miss Pavlova hid her friend. That's right, and it wasn't a snake after all. No, it was that little kitten she calls Darka. Not that it's anywhere to be seen now. It seems to have let itself out of the case and gone exploring. I expect it's wrapped itself around someone's head somewhere, trying to make a new friend. Either that, or it's scratching their hand to pieces. The point is, where has it got to? Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Let's see. Not the travel case. The waste paper basket. Oh, wow. This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably, there's not much rubbish in there yet. Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you. No, it's in there.
Yes!
Waste paper basket. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Ah! Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Miss Asogi's cabin. And as you can see, the last two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no! So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? Yeah! You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I I don't I don't know. That hushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell. That would be... Yeah, it's right here. Yep, right here. Kitty.
Yes!
Photograph. If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. I... The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble, your absent feline friend, Darka. Oh no. I couldn't. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Oh no. Conclusion. Death by tripping over a cat. Oh my god. That is the worst way to die. Like, I could see that definitely being plausible. And not to be superstitious, it was a black cat too, no less. I have two black cats. I have a tuxedo cat, and I also have a pure black cat named Moon. His name is Moon. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it? Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Dark God with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it safe to try. So at this point, you thought it safe to try to lure the kitten back again. By dangling the end of the toy to the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then, oh, I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then, oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kazuma was. From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Burdia is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet, Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case, and now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died, but I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it, and where did it come from? Yeah. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? Oh my god. Is- Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Pirozko. Pirozko? Pirozko to say. Hmm? What? What? That snake belongs to you? Pirozko? Hold on. Piroz. I wonder what that means. Rozhko. Yeah, because I want to look up a few names after. That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when the emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Yeah, but you're still breaking the rule, dude. Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear birdie fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake? Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Hmm? Hiroshiko does not have venom. Oh. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He is adorable, like Rani. It's venomless? Yeah. Yes, now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha, like they say, they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid studies. Pirosco cats mouses. Pizrosco eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. That explains the mouse trap. Ah, oh, so is that what the mouse trap in the passageway out there is for? Of course. How else could I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord. It's not even venomless. He- How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Pirosco is nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Oh no. Oh, Miss Pavlova. I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Bikotoba? What lies? Miss Palova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. No. And I see Sholmes is pretty damn serious here, too. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Uh-oh. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Palova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Oh no. Ah, not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The real truth. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Oh no. Yeah, I should have known. That I think of course there's more to this story, like, like the appearance of the snake. I mean, I know, that can act that I can still picture that happen though. Like that would suck. Accidentally tripping on a cat. Hey, Boosh. The truth about how you really died, about how that scene in your cabin really came to be. All right, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. Yeah, because there's more to the story. Like, especially the Russian word for, wardrobe. Yeah, I didn't mean to like trail off, because there, of course, there was more to the story. This is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Hold it!
Hold it. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there, in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. But really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. So, hang on. I'm going to look at my evidence closely. Okay, the post-mortem report. Right. That was totally... That's assumed to be accidental? Wait a minute, could it be the ship's log? A record kept by the crew assigned to the first-class cabin area. There were virtually no entries from 2 a.m. until early this morning. Right. And then we found out... No, wait, that's Kazuma's diary. So hold on. Sometime between 1 a.m. and a little past 2 a.m. Okay, now hold on. Oh! Nothing to report, huh? Nothing to report. Yeah, right. Okay, this might be it. The ship's log.
Yes!
What point are you trying to make with that evidence? I'm starting to see how Kazuma's death really happened, I think. No, that wasn't it. I think that you are starting to see nothing of the sort, and that was the evidence to prove it. Ouch. Ugh. If it was no accident, then what we should be looking for is one of two things. Either the absence of something you would expect to find at the scene of an accident, or the presence of something you wouldn't. Most confidentiously put, my dear madam. Ah, I see. I confess your rather languid I see doesn't fill me with confidence, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe in you. Well, more than Mr. Sholmes does, anyway. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there, in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. Alright. Okay, so I think the real, of course, you know, like I said, my mind wandered off elsewhere. Maybe it was the crime scene photo here where that says, you know, wardrobe.
Yes!
Yes. Alright, that's what I thought. That was like my second guess. The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script. It's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. Yep. And yeah, Kazuma did not know Russian. But maybe he was studying Russian. Oh, stop it. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. You might think it's a simple language, because you're Russian. But I could say the same thing for English. Like, hey, everybody, English is a pretty, easy language. Like, anybody can say that, from their native, country. But, it can also still be a little hard. Like, some people still have difficulty sometimes speaking their own language, but, Alright. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae, resulting in instant death. Instant death. Yes, that's right. There's no way somebody who instantly died would leave a freaking message. Somebody that, because this was done in previous cases, in the previous games, somebody died and then they used their hand, while they're unconscious or dead to write the message. Ah. Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead. Duh. That's not the only reason either. There's something else what we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there. If what Miss Pavlova told was true. If what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Susato-san has noticed it too, then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Yeah, I think I know what that is too. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words, yep, right here. Mark on the floor. Because the mark on the floor is right there. This has got to be it.
Yes!
Yep. This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? If that's really what's happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Ah. Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket? Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, There was someone else in the room. Oh my god. And that same person deliberately arranged a scene to disguise the truth in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah! Oh no. Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's.
Hold it!
You are wasting time. Someone else was there? Duh! Of course, we know this. Oh wow. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh yes. And only the other person in cabin when young student died was you.
Yes!
It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Ah, ha, 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 ha. Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. A single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you?
Hold it!
Seaman Stroganoff. Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills, and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. Really? You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is almost interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? Humph, you are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina. Not anyone. Or do you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it's impossible. Ugh, he's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside. Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as no one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight, no threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, no, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so... Susato-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? Yeah, right. So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind have been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across the outside. Oh. Hang on. Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. It wouldn't have been a bookshelf? This is probably wrong.
Yes!
Oh. Yeah, because I did remember that detail from the previous part. Look at the bookcase now. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel, after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects. Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least? Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah. It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosonaga. Oh yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed, or the force of inertia. if you want to call it that. Hold on. It's inertia, not ineptia, Renosuke. Are you trying to say that last night, after Miss Asogi was killed, oh, oh, the SS Brunia made another emergency stop? Yeah, it did. When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my. Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Bernia made emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it's simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside used to trigger the emergency alarm? I didn't forget. Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights, when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait, it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with the ship? How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider. Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop or did it not? You are idiots. Bernia is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop, even in the middle of night, there will be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped the vessel last night? Alright, now it's when I think this is when the ship log comes to play now. Yeah.
Yes!
Yep. Seaman Stroganov. It's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship. Isn't that right? Da, that is correct. Why? And the ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That is mine. Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase, "Nothing to report," every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log. That's right. That is... Da! Because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Go. Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Burya. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish! If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Well, because of something as major as an emergency stop really had happened. Surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Ah. Oh, yes. I have had a headache. You're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head's been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right. My head's been throbbing away. My head's been throbbing today too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out the wardrobe. and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Ah, well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? Hmm. My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No, really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Oh no. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. Wow. Something that induces sleep, drowsiness, or mental lethargy. Soporific. A sleeping drug. Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? That's messed up. Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, Seaman? Eh? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. Oh, if you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. Oh, please, no more. I will tell everything. Eh? I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. Oh no. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes, so when I decided to run away, to run away. I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help, everyone together. She threw away everything, her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Da. We could not make all drug. How do you say dissolve? Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. He was helped by comrade on shore with smart fishing boat, while all the passengers of the SS Burya slept soundly. While all the passengers of the SS Burya slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who disliked chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. Ah, but how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes, the overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway, and so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolts of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. Okay, you have taught long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But, 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 I, I don't know about any of this. I am just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes. Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come for one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. Oh boy. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said, of these two prevaricators. A prevaricator is a noun referring to someone who avoids the truth. Wow, that's a big word. Of these two prevaricators. Observation. If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. What suggests that someone else was there at the scene of the crime? What suggests that someone else... Chunky arms. Hold on. He has arms like tree trunks, doesn't he? Hairy tree trunks. Yes, he certainly has sailor's arms. He's a born man of the sea. Even if I had been awake, I wouldn't have done anything about being dragged out of that wardrobe by that man. Naruhodo, are you alright? You seem to be lost in thought. Oh, sorry. Blame those hairy tree trunks. Okay. Left ear? What suggests that someone else was there at the scene? He has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. Ah, that's an earring. That crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to have adornments like that. Let's see. Oh, hello. An ink stain. We found an ink stain. Hang on. Is there anything else I can examine for funsies? Oh, the sailor's hat. Have you noticed something significant about Seaman Stroganov's hat? Oh no, sadly not. I was just thinking that if only we found it in Kazuma's cabin, it would be all so easy. That's true. A hat dropped at the scene would have been very conclusive evidence. Ah, that's a point. I'm sure I saw your university uniform hat at the scene somewhere. That is not a point, at least not one I'd like you to make. Let's see. There's the freaking ink spot. The ink stain. Oh, look at this. It's some kind of stain, in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Ink. And look at the color, too. It's clear where this came from. Yep. The freaking ink stain. It suggested that he was there. He did the deed.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganov, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Eh? Ah, yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the paint, about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform. And I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. And we shall. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform really is. What caused the purple stain? The Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink. Yeah, right here. It would appear to have been written in the victim's final moments.
Yes!
Crime scene photograph. Yes, it's his photograph, and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Ah. Ah, the penny drops. At last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was split. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. Of course he did. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed a button to make Bernia do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. Biff, please. Oh, don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet. Biff, please, you must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw a student boy on floor. What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend. Oh no. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. That he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor? Yes, that is right. So after the incident, when the cats ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupants lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on the floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why? Why? I already told you. When Nina opened the door of students. Oh. When Nina opened the door of students' cabin and looked inside. I was asking Miss Pavlova. Yeah, don't. Yeah, you step off. Stroganoff. Eh. Well, Miss Pavlova? Oh, you're speaking Russian. Oh, yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. So is that finally it now? Oh, Brokey. Thank you for the raid. Good to have you here. Streamlabs was acting up on me again today, but it's fine. I'm just annoyed that my VOD got split in half, and then I just replayed a certain part. It was no problem. But thank you kindly for the raid. I'm in the middle of this case. I think I'm near the end of it. But yeah. Yeah, you and OBS? Shit. Shiz. We've been, looks like we've all had our battles, you know? It's like, why can't anything work? It's just so hard to... It's such a hard ask. But anywho, thank you. Thank you kindly. Windows Update messes up everything. It sure does. Relatable. Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Here's Cat. Hi, Cat. Whoosh. Yeah, he's great. He was laying down next to me. Have you discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Ah, something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. Yes, you did. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events? A kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to be somewhat unnatural. What do you mean, unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhoro? Oh, well. Okay, hang on. Let me save right here. If Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photograph print seems unnatural? I want to say... I want to say this line right here? Or it could be something else entirely. But we're going to present here.
Yes.
Okay. This word in Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So if you're looking for something unnatural, that's the obvious point. Very true. It is certainly peculiar, but it's not what I meant by unnatural, I'm afraid. What? That particularly crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. I mean to identify another point. Oh, I see. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. In my opinion, if you landed as the victim appears to have done here, it would be most unnatural. I'm sure you'll reach the same conclusion. How thoughtful you are, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you for your gentle guidance. Okay, so that wasn't it. Interesting. If Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photograph print seems unnatural? Okay, so it's not the word itself. Maybe it's his finger? Yeah, it's his finger, duh. Because that's gotta be the most unnatural thing, because his mortem report, it said that he instantly died. It's gotta be his finger.
Yes.
No, wait. It's not the finger? Because the game's thinking that I pointed to the word again. This... Oh, hello, Kronos. Rap, Epo, Weird Russian B, your favorite word? Yeah, hi. Yeah. Okay, so this isn't the unnatural part. I was actually trying to point to the finger nail. Well, not the finger. Alright. Apparently it's not the word. Hang on. Funnily enough, I'm not getting penalized. Well, yeah. Which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? Is it this spot right here?
Yes.
Okay, it's still... Okay, it's not the spot. It's not the word. The smudge? That's what I thought. But which smudge, though? I can't really tell. Because, like, I thought about pointing here where the mark is. That's not it. I tried pointing here. That's not it. You mean his Hachimaki? Probably. Maybe. I'm going to be mildly upset if that was the case. No, wait. I see something else. Here? Hold on. This might be wrong, but we'll see.
Yes!
It must be here, surely. Allow me to offer you a piece of advice regarding the pursuit of detection, my dear fellow. When nothing, when noting a crucial point, it can be helpful to keep your eyes open. They were open. And it can be equally helpful to use them. Sorry, I'll try that. Okay. I think it's plain what Mr. Sholmes means by unnatural, isn't it? The word written in a foreign language underneath his fingertip, surely. That particular crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. No, I mean to identify another point. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. Would you land as the victim has? What of your hands? You look like the sort of fellow who stumbles with some regularity. This should be an easy task. Why do I? If Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photograph print seems unnatural? Hang on. So I tried pointing to the word, but apparently that wasn't it. What, his closed fist, maybe? Hang on, everybody. I'm trying to think this through. Right. So that was probably it. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I don't remember in the previous case. I forgot the detail. I don't know if they mentioned if he was like left or right-handed. But anywho, this has got to be it.
Yes!
All right. If he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The fist. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet, here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. Ah, what do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And if you recall correctly, old Japan, it's right, right-handed, or don't. learn type, but I could be thinking of another culture. Always a step ahead, Sholmes. Yeah. You wrecked your electric scooter. You also fell today. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it was the closed fist. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? This is what I found. Oh, the earring. Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty. But what does it tell you? Us. Sure, thank you. Um, you go. Yeah, thanks. And good. Yeah, thank you. Chronos. All right. Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty. What does it tell us? Humph. It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks. It looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. We have. We know where it is. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe, find the answer with your own eyes. Yeah, it's right here. Boom.
Yes!
Miss Pavlova, on your ear there. I see you have a crescent moon as well. Ah. What? And on your other ear. There seems to be a crescent moon missing. The little link holding it on must have broken, I suppose. Yep. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova. Mr. Asogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night, in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? Ah! Eh. Oh man. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin, and I could relax after this horrible long day. Darka, wait! Oh no. I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle, I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. Knock, knock. There was knocking. Clunk. What are you doing here? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, Kazuma. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. Huh? This is all... The young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin. Just a moment. Sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, no, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Oh no. Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Oh no. Why did I think I could trust him? N- Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted. And then Darka jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me, I pushed him. Oh my god. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. Awful. Terrible. And that's when you went to fetch help? From Seaman Stroganov, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nida cry out and dud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Biff. If they find out I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go. Help me, Biff." Help me, Biff. If I may find out... If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go. So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. so that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes, I went to the cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Susato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I write so that person who found him would look in. Yeah, I write wardrobe so that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of the brass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin, and I finished job. She ain't no angel. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Bordia did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolts on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland, and it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? Right. It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Ah, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the belt cord, May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. If he told you he wanted to give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There is one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Wow. Yes. What action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whither the young man's gaze was directed? All right. Oh. First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. That cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night, when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, sorry, unexpected sneeze. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? Where was... Jeez. Annoying. Alright. Oh my god. So, we have options here. He was looking at the bed, the bell cord, apparently not the ventilator, the wardrobe? Hang on, let's observe. His bed. I remember him being annoyed about the pillow. He said it was too thin. Didn't he put that big, thick book of Japanese law underneath it, in fact? Perhaps he was thinking of looking something up. Either that, or talking to Miss Pavlova made him acutely tired. Pillow perfectionist. Cool, I got a silly achievement for that. I wasn't even trying to achievement hunt either. Bell cord. The bell cord. So Miss Pavlova thought he was just coldly ignoring her request and going to pull the cord. But the Kazuma I knew would never have done something like that. No, I'm sure of it. Alright. He most likely was probably looking at the wardrobe. The wardrobe. My wardrobe. I was in there at the time, of course, sleeping soundly. Too soundly. If only I hadn't eaten that chicken that was laced with the sleeping drug. If only he'd woken me up, then maybe this tragedy would never have happened. So let me double check to see if there's anything else that's tricky that may or may not overlook. Alright, so most likely was the wardrobe he was looking at. Oh, okay, hang on. Select wardrobe, then present.
Take that!
Yep. Consider everything that had happened last night. Certainly, it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe, and more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Ah, Miss Pavlova, please think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No. Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Ms. Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done? You killed someone, that's what you did. And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Berdia was finally laid to rest. Awful. 9th January, 7:14 p.m. SS Berdia, first class cabin passageway. Dude was 23 and died to a 15-year-old. Come on now. I was honestly thinking that this dude did it, but that wasn't the case. 9th January, 7:14 p.m. SS Berdia, first class cabin passageway. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? To return, send, or bring someone or something back to their country of origin, citizenship, or allegiance. Okay, that's what it means. Repatriate. Repatriate? Repatriate? Yeah. Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return to the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganov? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost a good friend. Oh, I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. Oh, that's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Da. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes, I did stow away, after all. I couldn't really expect any different. Yeah. So, you should get back to your cabin now. It looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it's even begun then. To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we tear up the streets of London. That seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh, Susato. Susato-san? Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Oh no. I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Susato-san. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain, so many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. A freaking accident. A freak accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much. Yeah, I agree. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Inspector, my duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down, and I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now. At least... Huh? Ah ha 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 ha! Oh no. This dude. Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. That's messed up. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them. For old time's sake, shall we say, you are a stowaway, after all. Ah ha 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 ha. He thinks this is funny? It ain't funny. Mr. Sholmes, we do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences? The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port, in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be. In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care for me, but poor Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Miss Susato? Yes. Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Ah, but you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must do to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo, that's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody can learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if by the time I reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma, he said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Usato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, 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 it's madness. Yet fascinating. Wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest. Give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character. No? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next, and how best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer. I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant, after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well. I accept. I'll treasure it always. Haruma, Kazuma. Haruma. Very well, I'll accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Miss Susato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. What? 3 times. What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. Yeah. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, It was completely unforgivable behavior. No, no, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away, and the cabin door is locked from the inside. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you, and not just once, but 5 times. Ah, that number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it! Don't even think about it. No, 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 I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. When did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling. Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. Apparently, it's called a Susato takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. Hmm, how beguiling. I am a practitioner of the competitive. I am a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. Sure you are. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not delay. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madame. Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry. Hiya! That's, I guess, number 6. As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh, yes. Arresting indeed. And that is what you term the Susato takedown, is it? Actually, no. That was a Susato squash. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. Haruma. That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Rinosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. Chucks. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do. I still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. Right. Nice. All right. Finally, I was able to beat this case. Uh, Maybe realistically, yesterday I probably would have been able only to do just 2 parts. So, case 3, episode 3 is called The Adventure of the Runaway Room. Interesting. Episode 3, The Adventure of the Runaway Room. All right, that's gonna do it for me, everybody. I did not expect 3 investigations, 3-part investigation, but there was still some nice, I still like I still like the deduction. That was really cool, and I was still able to still present evidence outside of court. Like that whole thing reminded me of Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, in a sense, but in the first person still. But they still show them in different angles. So that was pretty cool. That was really, really cool. I did like it. So let's see. Let me see. I wanted to look up something. Hmm. With Stroganov. So, in Japan, he was called Mitrov Stroganov. His Japanese given name, Mitrov, is a play on meatloaf, and his English name is Biff Biff, likely a play on beef. So his Japanese and English surnames are references to beef stroganoff, which is a Russian dish. That's cool. In the unofficial translation in Russian, he was given the name Boris, which is a very stereotypical Russian name. Boris Shirkov. Boris Shikov. His name and surname together are a pun on the word borscht, the most famous Slavic dish. Let's see. And then, hang on. Piroshko. His Japanese and English name are likely a play on pirozok, which is a type of puff pastry, which originated in both Russia and Ukraine. Oh, that's adorable. He named his snake after a puff pastry, which is a piroshko. That's adorable. And then, let's see. Nikolina Pavlova. Let's see. So, her English surname, Pavlova, may be a reference to Anna Pavlova, a Russian ballet dancer, or the dessert named after her. Oh, that's cute. Well, a connection could also be made to Ivan Pavlov, but even the conditioning that Sholmes accuses her of using on Darka has no relation to the classical conditioning that Pavlov is known for discovering. And then in Japanese, Nikomina Bolshevik. Her given name, Nikomina, comes from Nikomi, meaning stew, in line with the theme of naming sailors and other workers of the ship after Russian delicatessen. Her patronymic surname is close to and may have been intended to be one of the real names Bolshevik, or Bolshevik. The suffix Ervich, often associated with Russian patronymics, meaning son of. It's masculine. It is not used for girls' patronymics. It includes possible references to the Bolsheviks, Borscht, and Moscow's the Bolshoi Theater. Let me see. Bolsheviks, a radical Marxist group of Russian revolutionaries who led the October Revolution, part of the Russian Revolution. All right. And then there's borscht, which is a typical cuisine, Eastern European countries. So in the English localization, the surname Bolshevik was instead given to the revolutionary Violent Bolshevik. Oh yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's some nice trivia. All right then. Well, that's all for today. I'm gonna get on out of here, everybody. Let me see what they are up to. Uno momento. Okay. Okay, everybody. We're gonna head on out to Che. Excuse me, my apologies. We're going to read on out to Cecily. Cecily used to be known as Chade, but they are known as Cecily. And you know, Cecily. Cecily's great. I've watched Cecily over the years on Twitch, and times change in a good, it is a good way. And Cecily seems to be happy about it, and it's nice. I like to see Cecily happy. From Che to Cecily. So yes, we're gonna go out to Cecily. Cecily's wonderful. And it looks like they are doing whatever today. That's cool. I have no idea what this particular game Cecily is playing. It might look like it's from UFO 50, perhaps? But yeah. Okay, everybody. It's a short list today, but better than no list. I would like to thank the following. I'd like to thank Chuckman, Roki, thank you for the raid, and Kronos. That's all. So anybody else that was lurking, thank you for lurking my channel. I appreciate you all. I'll be back next week on Sunday. I'm going to continue more of this game. And, yeah, I'll do Case 3. Yep. Yeah, tomorrow I'm just going to chill out. I'm not going to stream tomorrow. I'm going to watch some more Rocko's Modern Life. I'm going to be watching Season 3. Alright. So now we shall exit. And I will go out to a nice jam. A nice hot jam. But it's a nice one. Hang on. I got the raid ready. Cool. And here we go. Thank you all for watching. Remember to go in peace. I'll see you all in court next week.